Start.
All right.
Okay. Um, so we're just gonna talk about some movie stuff and Chadwick
Sure.
Boseman and Tenet.
Yeah. Hmm.
So like Chadwick Boseman, he was what, 43? He was
43.
43 and he
Yep.
was sick for 4 years, and like it's crazy because his performance in Black Panther, that's like one of my favorite lead performances in any blockbusters. And that's just like he wanted to give this to us. He wanted to give this to the world, this movie. And I didn't know this until like yesterday that he was on the project before Ryan Coogler was.
Yeah.
And he like helped pick the director,
Yeah.
and he helped pick the cast and stuff. And apparently, he went to like all the supporting actors auditions, which isn't done a lot in those big movies. Like he went to the Winston Duke one, and like it just showed how much care he put into this. And I was just watching this clip yesterday,
Mhm.
which is even more sad and powerful that he had cancer. Where he's like talking about these two kids that he was talking to during the movie, and he was like, and they said that they're holding on until this movie comes because they're terminal. They know they're not going to make it, but they wanted this movie come. And then he said, so he's like, I really got to work on my lines because these people are really, you think it's just a movie. And me personally, that's something I always hate when people say it's just a movie. Yeah, it's art. Yeah, it's entertainment. But so many people watch this, and it gives them hope. This kind of story, especially the opening scene, you see this kid, and he sees this ship, and that scene is so powerful to me because it's. I saw someone say the other day, they were like, as someone who grew up in Oakland, seeing that superhero movie, like seeing that kind of um perspective, and then he's like, and then he says, when I found out that they had passed, and then he starts to tear up, and he's like, it means a lot. And so it's just incredible that he cared so much. And
It's not just a superhero movie.
no, yeah,
Black Panther is so much more than that because it is about representation, and it's like I've always wondered my whole life, to my friends of color, and it's like what it was like to grow up in a world where the media was completely dominated by white faces and white voices, like certain
yeah,
parts of the music industry, the movie industry, everything on TV. What's it like to grow up in the 70s and, like e- every show maybe has one token black character,
yeah. And
but
even the lead, even the movies with the lead black character that they got, like people say, oh, Blade, but Blade wasn't specifically about the black experience.
no,
Was
what's
black,
it?
but
Not at all.
Black Panther is
Yeah,
about the
right.
black experience, two different point of views, the
Sure.
conservative T'Challa and the villain. The whole thing with the villain is it's him trying to show him that you can't just be closed off. You have to help people.
Mhm.
And it's the movie's about him changing his mind, T'Challa. And people are talking about like, are they going to recast? I'm just like, just for now, just wait a while. How about now you just talk about what Chadwick Boseman did in his career? I'm like, wait a while to talk about that stuff. Like, we can talk about that stuff, but I just feel like right now we should be talking about Chadwick and what he did.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think there is a clear answer when it comes to that, because we don't have to talk about it much, but I'm just saying there is a
Yeah.
clear answer when it comes to that. And like, you can just keep going with your storyline. It's pretty easy, if you
Well,
actually
well,
think about
I think that if they don't recast, they can easily just make Shuri.
it. Sure, right. That's what
Okay,
I'm saying. Yeah,
I think if they're not going to recast, I think that they should just make Shuri and the other two women. What are their names? The leads, like all three of them.
yeah.
I
Make up,
honestly, and but we don't need to talk about that now. We should just talk about Chadwick and what he
yeah,
did. I'm
right.
gonna watch. The thing is, normally when a famous actor director dies, I want to watch all their movies, but there's so much. But for Chadwick, there's not a lot.
There really isn't a lot, and it really sucks. And that's part of like the real sadness of it is he didn't get to probably live up to his full
Yep.
potential. We got to see something awesome like Black
Yeah.
Panther that you were just saying he put all of his time and hard work into and passion into and cared about every aspect of the production, and it shows in the way that it turned out. The love for it that he and Ryan Coogler and the other people had for it. But no, there is. We could have had so much more. He's just
Yeah.
43 years old, man. He was just
What the good we can take out of that is his friends like Ryan Coogler and Lupita Nyong'o and everyone he worked with, and
Mhm.
especially Michael B. Jordan with him launching his own production company. I think he's gonna honor. I mean,
Sure.
his memory. He even said yesterday he's really struggling, and he said, "I'm gonna live the rest of my days honoring living in his way, where the way he lived. Like I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
And I think it was in some Facebook group or something. Someone said that they met Chadwick like a year or two ago, and he said, "What advice do you have for someone who wants to act or direct?" And he said, like, normally someone will say, "Oh, do this," but he literally just said, "Never give up." That's all he said, and then moving on to the next question. And that's just like yeah, I was listening to an interview on the Happy Sad Confused on the press tour for Marshall, and he said that he was saying that this is my mindset. Yes, you want to make money, you want to break into Hollywood, but
Right.
really, he said, what I think everyone should do, aspiring actors, filmmakers, is even if you don't make a lot of money, do what you want to do, and eventually, if you do that long enough, you'll make money. Like
Mhm.
film criticism, like you don't make a lot of money, but if you do it for a long time, you try hard, you can. But I just think that's a great message to send to people.
Yeah.
Just just do what you do and never give up.
Right.
Because in Hollywood, you can be in it for 20 plus years and still not make it.
Hmm.
But if you really want to make it in the industry, you got to keep going for as long as you have to.
Right.
Be-
It's
yeah.
yeah, it's inspiring. It's like people like him, absolutely. Like you think of the adversity that he was going through in the last 4 years, and he's still doing like press for movies. He's still filming new movies. He's not letting anybody know about it. You know what I mean? Except for I'm
Yeah.
sure very
And
close
he still
family and
has
friends.
one more movie that's done that's going to be released. I think it's like
Right.
Ma Rainey's.
Yeah.
It's it's the kind of it's about a group of black like workers or something, and they're being misused by the white, and that's the kind of thing where when I watch it I know it's going to be really even more emotional
Yeah.
because and it's I think Viola Davis is in it. I'm like that's I mean that's going to be really good, but he did what he wanted to, and it's he did live a life. He did do a lot. He
Yeah.
because he had been teaching directing, I think, and apparently he's known Michael B. Jordan since like they went to school together. So he's hasn't been famous, but he's been friends with him, Michael B. Jordan's whole career.
Yeah.
Um, which is interesting and shows how they know each other really well. And Michael B. Jordan is, it's almost like his spirit is gonna live on in everything that he does because they knew each other so well. And I
It's like
didn't
the spirit of the Black Panther.
exactly. And now when I watch Black Panther, their scenes are going to be more powerful. Me knowing that they've been friends for so long,
Hmm.
and I I watched this movie the other day. It's called Cutthroat City.
Yeah.
It's directed by RZA
Mm.
and Forrest Whitaker. I believe his son is Denzel Whitaker. His son or his nephew?
I don't know.
I
I
think he
don't
might be
know.
his son because he looks a lot like him. But I forgot that he plays the younger version of him in Black Panther in the
Yeah.
opening scene. That's Denzel Whitaker, and that scene is, I mean, incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
But I want to watch Marshall because I know what's his name is in that too, Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna watch all his movies. That and 42. Those are the ones I haven't seen.
Yeah.
That
So
have you seen 42?
I have seen it. I think saw it at home probably a year after it came out or so.
Yeah,
Uh, it's good. It's good. Super good.
yeah. I love Get On Up, and
Yeah.
then but Black Panther is my favorite. I think it's just Ryan Coogler's directing,
Yeah.
which
Well, no, I think it's more than that. I think it's like you were saying,
yes,
the
yes,
combination of everybody that had a passion for it, that
yeah.
realized how important that it was that
Well,
they get this right,
well,
that
but the
they get it right, you
well,
know?
but the thing is, if I like his directing, I also have to credit Chadwick too because he
Yeah.
helped hire him.
Hmm.
And so it's like he's almost partly responsible for the movie that the way it is, and that a big movie like that is so hard to get right. It's so hard to get right, and it's just so cool that he cared so much. And what I loved about Chadwick also is that he was one of those people when he was in an interview, he some actors feel like they just want to get it over with and they're not enjoying it. He clearly enjoyed talking to other people.
Yeah.
He enjoyed it because he cared about what he does and he cares about the industry. And I mean, like literally this year he did some interview with some fundraiser or something, and um like in his last few months he was still doing that stuff. He was still fighting. I read that he gave like $4 million to different impoverished communities recently. So he was using his power, he was using his money till his last days. And that's the way now every day in my life I'm gonna think about him and I'm gonna try to live the way that he would want me to live. And um I know that he would want us to support stuff like Lovecraft Country or, you know, all this stuff. And, because the fact is that that stories about like the black experience, whether it's in the 50s or now, those stories don't they aren't told as much. They're getting told now, but we need to support them. And they are good. Like I don't know if you've seen Lovecraft Country. It is really good.
I have not. I have not
it,
seen
it,
it. No.
it's I mean, as a show about what happens to black people like throughout history, it's great, but also as a horror show, it's also great.
Yeah.
It, and like you'll really
Where is
like
it?
it.
What's it on?
It's on HBO.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I don't know how much time you have left. Do we have time to talk about Tenet?
I mean, we can talk about it for a few minutes if you want. Like,
Yeah,
I don't have a whole lot to say about it,
yeah.
except for
It's
that like I'm excited for it. I'm not the biggest Christopher Nolan fan, but
yeah.
I do
Which ones?
appreciate his movies.
Which ones do you really like, and which ones do you not like that much?
I Inception really gets on my nerves. Like
Really? Wait,
I
what gets on your nerves about it?
the constant narration of the movie by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, dude. Like I get so sick of him explaining the movie to me, man. Like
So like the streets
I
are
get it.
moving, man. The
I
streets
know
are moving.
it's very cool. The special effects are very cool, and like, but the exposition in that movie is out of control, dude.
Do you like
I
do
don't
you
know.
which do you like better, that or Interstellar?
Interstellar by
Yeah,
far.
Interstellar's my favorite. Interstellar's my favorite. I think. Hang on.
One, probably have to say 1917.
Wait. What you
Um,
froze out for a second?
I would say it's oh sorry I would say it's Interstellar, the 1917.
Wait, 1917 wasn't a Nolan.
Then
1917
he's
was
not
not
Nolan.
Nolan.
Which one am I thinking of? Which was the more war movie he
Dunkirk.
came out with last year?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
I think it's
Sorry,
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk. Yes, Dunkirk. Sorry, I didn't even
That's
see
actually the only
1917.
one.
Excuse me.
That's the
Uh,
only one I don't like because I like the
you don't
characters
like
in his
it?
movies, and that movie is like I get what it's trying to do, but I
Yeah,
don't like that. Like to me, his characters, is what I like, and that's why Interstellar is my favorite because it's the most interesting character stuff. Like you have
yeah,
Matthew McConaughey, and 20 minutes later or an hour later, his like daughter is aged, and then he's crying, and then it shows her, and it's like, um, I mean, I know not everyone thinks that's the best Nolan movie. I love it because I think it just all the emotion and stuff and the character and it all works for me.
yeah. And The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
I'm I like it. I think it's really cool. I think it's a little too long, and I think it's a little overhyped. I hate to be one of those guys, but I've thought that since day one. And
I
I'm a notorious DC hater anyway, but I do like
yeah.
Batman. Um, my favorite Batman movie is Batman Returns. I love that movie.
Wait,
But
wait. How do you feel about Michael Keaton coming back?
I'm pretty excited. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
Well,
pretty
what's
cool.
so interesting to me? about that is I thought it would just be a one and done, but he's gonna be coming back.
Mhm. Why
It's
not?
just no, it's just interesting.
Yeah,
It's just surprising. I
yeah.
did not think he would come back to that role.
And I didn't think he would either, but I think
I'm not complaining.
Being in the Spider-Man movies has really probably helped like open his mind to it a little
I
bit
just
more
think
so.
it's crazy that we're gonna have three movie Batmans at the same time.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
easily.
technically, live action will have four at the same time because there's um, Sir Friendzone from Game of Thrones in
Yeah,
Titans.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's crazy. Imagine just, I just think it's really cool that we're gonna get to see two Batman interact.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So out of the three active working Batmans right now, so you're counting Pattinson,
Yeah,
Keaton,
Pattinson,
and
Affleck,
Affleck,
and
right?
then Sir Friendzone from Game of Thrones.
Sir Francis. So which one's your favorite of those four
Well,
current Batman?
we haven't seen Keaton his new version,
Yeah, but you know
but
what he's gonna do. Come on.
yeah, I know he's gonna be the same thing. Probably Pattinson,
Yeah.
but I just think that I liked Keaton's Batman, but we just I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I like his Batman, but it didn't have like the Bruce Wayne stuff wasn't as cool as the Batman stuff, which that's why I'm excited for Pattinson because it looks like we're
Mm.
gonna see a lot of like Bruce Wayne is like hair is messy and stuff, and I'm like I'm excited for this. Like he's young and he doesn't really know what he's getting into, and I think it's interesting that Riddler is gonna be the villain when he's young, because that's like the worst possible. Because the Riddler's the one that like messes with his head,
Right.
and he's like Riddler is just I'm so excited for that. I mean, so like he if you watch There Will Be Blood, it's perfect for Riddler because he's so annoying. You hate him so much. Like you want
Right.
him to be punched.
Right.
Like every
Oh,
time in the
I see
Arkham
that, man.
yeah. Every time in the Arkham games when you knock out Riddler, it's hilarious. He's like, you did not finish my riddle and you just knock him out. Like that's that villain. He's just super annoying.
Right.
Um
Absolutely.
yeah.
So yeah, we're excited for Tenet. I haven't been honestly obsessing over it. It'll come out when it comes out. I'll see it and I see it and I really want to love it. I want to love it. I want to
Yeah.
be blown away by it. Um, there's always the possibility there with Nolan, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of him.
Yeah.
I went into Dunkirk. Sorry, I was calling it 1917. I went into Dunkirk, like with very low expectations on the movie, and was absolutely blown away by that movie. I love that movie. The cinematography. I think that was Roger Deakins, wasn't it? Did the
I
cinematography?
think so.
I'm
Wait,
pretty sure, but he was that movie's freaking amazing. I loved it so much. So it actually got me more excited to see his next movie.
uh, I saw that in an actual IMAX. Like I was in San Francisco.
Hmm.
No, it was Hoyt van Hoytema.
Oh, it was okay.
That's who did
Isn't
Interstellar. He
that like
also,
his guy? Isn't that his
yeah,
guy? Like does all of his.
he did Ad Astra too,
Okay.
which has great cinematography. But I saw it in a real IMAX in San Francisco where it was like at least three
Yeah.
stories high, and you had to look up, and the seats would like shake in every scene. It was. I mean, I'm glad, kind of glad I get to see it in a drive-in because apparently there's some scenes where the sound design is so loud you have to cover your ears, so I can just turn it down.
It's not that annoying sound from Inception.
Maybe it is. Maybe
During-
they'll cross over and they'll just have a full 5 minutes where that
oh
sound
God.
is just in your ears.
I'm sorry, that movie just really gets on my nerves. It's probably that movie that soured me over the rest of
Ha-
his movies because
have you seen?
I saw Memento after I saw
Yeah.
that, and so like the whole like jumping time thing was like already played out on me from like Inception and like jumping
Ha-
around and stuff. So
have you
like
seen the Kevin James does these where he puts himself in like famous movie scenes, but he's
no,
the sound guy?
yeah.
Like there's one for I Am Legend where Will Smith is like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "I just need some sound checks. I just need some sound checks." And then he gets out an assault rifle and he's like, "Come on, man, no, I just need some sound." And then he gets his pistol and is like, "You don't want to do this, Will." But he did one for Inception where it's the final scene when the dreidel thing is spinning
Yeah.
and Michael Caine walks out and he's just like, "Is it gonna stop?" it's gonna keep going, and then he gets out a banana and starts eating the banana, watching it spinning, and then he knocks it over, and that's the whole thing.
That's funny.
My favorite one is the No Country for Old Men one. It's him in this. Have you seen No Country for Old Men?
Of course. Yeah.
You have.
Yeah, of
It's in
course.
the scene in the gas station,
Yeah.
and he puts him, and he's like, "You want to run some lines?" And he's like, "Sure, if that's what you want." It
You want
it's
friendo.
it's hilarious. That scene is just, oh my god. I just it's
It's
so
tense. It's
it's so
tense.
uncomfortable. It's like,
It's so tense.
so you married into it. He's like, if that's the way you want to look at it, well, it's not a way to look at it. It's the way it is. It's like, oh my god. But did I gotta let you go now?
Yeah, man, I gotta get out of here, so
Okay.
let's cut it off.